Hello everyone, and welcome to the first chapter of the Call of War Rivals playthrough. Now, this is the playthrough that was sponsored by Call of War. We're playing as California representing America. We have Diplex Heated all the way over in Sweden, and then we also have Jackie Fish in Korea, which is actually making quite a bit of progress here. But anyways, guys, we're going to jump straight in. This first week has been pretty calm. There's been a couple of territory skirmishes across the globe. Just a couple of smaller regions cannibalizing the, adjacent regions to get some small gains. But nothing too massive as far as, like, anything on a war scale or a world war scale. Right now, it's just minor territory gains here for most countries. North Mexico actually coming out with a lot of gains here. We actually have taken over a bit of Arizona here. But yeah, there's a lot going on across the globe right now. It has not been a calm start. There have been skirmishes across the globe, but no major coalitions have been formed, and there's no really large battles going on. It's mainly just one country or one region going after an individual country next to them. So a couple of alliances have been formed. I'm not going to want to give away too much, but there are some pretty strong alliances going on over here in the continental US. There are also a couple of South American alliances going on. I'm not too up to date over what's going on in the actual regions of Asia or Europe or South Africa or even Africa proper. All we really have been paying attention to right now is normally what's adjacent to us. So we're just actually, the plan here is we're going to be building up our infrastructure within California, just making sure we have a strong industry to, support the major wars ahead, taking a little bit of some territory gains next to us. But honestly, what we're trying to do right now is I think we're going to go for some naval action this game. Last game, we didn't really do too much of that because we were playing as China. We were trying to fight off, northern and southern aggression on the mainland. Right now, because we're in America and because we have, a good amount of, as you can see, we've allied with North Mexico as well as, I believe this is, who is this? Northwest USA. We're going to be pushing southwest and trying to take over all these, Pacific Islands and trying to build a Pacific Empire. Who knows how far down here will come, but I really am looking forward to actually getting into some of the naval action of this game because I have not yet already. But that's where we're at for pretty much week one. I'll update you as important things come along, but nothing too crazy has happened. Once again, just building up our industry. Allies are trying to get some territory gains. As you can see, a lot of skirmishes, all this hashed area across the map. These are all these areas have been taken over by another country. So very small gains across the globe, but nothing of a massive scale where, continents have decided to wage war against one another yet. But very excited to see what's going to come of this. Good luck to Jackie, good luck to Diplex, and we'll see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now about maybe half a week later from the first update, and a lot has happened. As you can see, North America is pretty much united as one kind of entity. We are cannibalizing a couple of these smaller areas in between. For example, Colorado now being invaded from us on the west and Texas on the east. We've decided to split this territory evenly. But Texas, a big player here. California, who we are playing as, we're taking some ground here. We've also managed to kind of bolster our navy a little bit. We've got quite a few subs, some destroyers over here, a couple more subs. We're pulling back a couple of our infantry units that we used to take over a couple of these islands. And the major war right now is with South America. So North America right now is attempting to push south, and we have a lot of major assault forces here and infantry and tank units pushing southbound. But yeah, Europe is our next threat after South America. We've actually established a peace treaty with Asia, which is really, really cool. So as you guys know, Jackie is in Asia over here in Korea. And he's kind of controlled most of this region with his friends and his forces. But mostly the biggest threat right now is going to be South America. And then actually Germany and a couple of other Eastern European nations are sending some scouts across the water. We even had a landing actually happen over here on the east coast of the US. So that was a little startling, but as you can see, we're getting some protection up as far as naval ships and security over here in the Atlantic. I'm going to be moving a couple of my naval ships over there as well. But right now we're just focusing on consolidating a couple of these islands here and then pushing south into South America. So yeah, pretty interesting. Got a lot of cool stuff going on. We're still going to be focusing on naval power and research for the next foreseeable future. But yeah, we're going to be focusing on trying to crush this right here, and I'll update you how that campaign goes. So real quick, we just got this freaking announcement that the first nuke of the game has been launched. We're like 2 weeks in, and New Zealand just nuked Jackie from Korea. So I don't know what the heck happened here. I was just playing, but there was a nuke that went off somewhere in Korea. That's actually crazy. I've never been online when a nuke went off. So just a short update. I just had to start recording because that pop-up came up and it scared the crap out of me. But yeah, New Zealand is pretty large here. They've taken all of Australia, and if they've nuked Korea, I'm guessing that means that Japan and New Zealand are not friendly, because I know Japan and Korea are friendly in this game, as well as like most of Asia. We might need to team up with New Zealand and see who they're allied with. As you can see, we've made a lot of progress as well. North America, once again, just consolidated. We've got a subline set up on the Pacific here to make sure that, you know, Japan and Korea aren't sending things towards the West Coast. I'm still working on getting a couple of these islands and atolls, Micronesia over here, the Philippines, and the Mariana. We're trying to push down here as well. But yeah, we're taking some of these atolls, but things are going to get, I think the next conflict that's in our kind of sphere of influence is going to be over here, near Japan and New Zealand's territories in these isles. So I've got a lot of subs down here to get ready for that, but Japan is already like embarking troops over here. New Zealand's got a convoy over here that we have eyes on from our sub. So this is probably where we're going to be spending a lot of our time. Even though North America and the rest of our friendly forces, we've broken the South American line. They're pushing down. So South America is essentially ours. It's just going to take some time. The only big things that we have to worry about in South America is South Argentina, which is pretty formidable. They haven't lost too much in this fight. It's mostly been Sao Paulo and South Brazil holding the main line here. So I have no idea what South Argentina has within their territories. We are sending a couple of flanking units down to the south end of South America to see what's up. But over here, South Brazil has this freaking enormous battleship flotilla. So it's 133 strength, and it's got 4 destroyers, 2 battleships, 1 carrier, and I think this is 2 cruisers, level 6. So this is a massive stack right here that's absolutely wrecking here in the Caribbean. So we got to be really careful of that. But the rest of our Navy, you know, California, we have North Mexico. I think even Ontario, has some stuff down here. We're prepping the waters here for an invasion into the UK. So that's going to be interesting. As you can see, all the troops are now moving over here to get staged for that invasion. So this is where the next big North American attack is, you know, following the eradication of all these South American countries down here. But I am pretty much, as you can see on this map, I'm the only thing in between Asia and North America. Everyone here has pulled off all their troops to deal with the South and East. So we are the vanguard, or the, you know, the guardians of the Pacific. So that's essentially going to be a role for right now. I've got a I've got a fleet here that's staging. We also have, look at this. We have 2 aircraft carriers. They're getting pumped out right here. So we're going to be focusing on naval bombers, strategic bombers, and interceptors. Those are the 3 kind of planes that we're going to be loading up into these carriers. And then we're going to stage them probably near the Midway Islands, just for a QRF in case one of these subs picks something up, like a huge force that's going to invade. I also want to get something up here to make sure nothing crosses over this kind of land bridge over here. But that's pretty much the plan right now. Things are getting pretty spicy. A lot of progress on our part as far as North America is concerned. A lot of big plans. This game is 100 times more exciting than when we played as China, just because we were getting absolutely just bullied that last game. So this one is definitely going to be a lot more interesting with a lot more stuff going on. We have a lot more responsibility. And yeah, nuke went off. That's pretty sick. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Hello, everyone. So it is currently day 20 of our current campaign. And a little bit more has happened. So as you can see, we've established our Pacific subwall. We're going to be going through here and actually making sure that we can get a couple of these final islands under our control here. Just attacking these last couple of atolls. But yeah, what's going on in the world? Well, we're taking over a little bit of South America here, just as a little bit of a staging ground. This was a computer player, so no worries there. It's just kind of free stuff that we're taking here. We'll take over these last little southern parts of Chile. But the war in South America is going along quite well. As you can see, the American coalition is pushing south here now. Once again, that main threat is still going to be South Argentina. We have not seen their forces before, but all the other South American countries are crumbling. As far as what's going on with Europe, so plans have kind of changed. What we're essentially going to do is we're just going to retake the UK to give back to UK, which has been like exiled over here, I think. Yeah, the UK has been exiled over here because they got pushed out by Sweden, which is Diplex. Diplex completely evicted the UK, and UK had to fall back to a couple of islands. I think they're also down here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're in Jamestown as well. So we're literally just gonna retake UK's land, give it back to UK, and then that'll serve as our only point into Europe. But honestly, guys, our main threat right now is Jackie. He's leading the game in the #1 slot in his coalition of New Zealand, Japan, nationalist China, and Korea. They hold some of the top spots in the game. So it's looking like Europe is going to be trying to hammer Jackie from the west, and after we take the UK back for England, we're going to be moving through the Pacific and trying to make headway on Jackie from the east. As you can see, we already have some territory here that British Columbia is trying to take in East Yakutia. I don't know how you say that, but yeah, over here, which is probably going to be the main assault, and then we'll continue down to the south of China here. Or south of Asia, while I will be most likely trying to struggle to control the Pacific. We have been absolutely ramping up our naval production. As you can see, we're just pumping out cruisers. We have quite the fleet here. I think we have two aircraft carriers here. We have another aircraft carrier here. We're loading them all up. I've got interceptors on one of these aircraft carriers. Gonna get naval bombers, as you can see. Got to get them moved down to the coastline because they're being produced up here in the Midwest kind of area. So yeah, we're just continuing to form our structures and to get our navy ready. I do believe we also have some battleships being produced. Yeah, we've got one battleship coming out of Los Angeles, and then I guess we can get another battleship here coming out of not Palm Springs, out of San Diego. So we got battleships and capital ships now being produced in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego. Those are our main two naval production areas, and then we do have some ground unit production areas in Merced and Las Vegas, which are pumping out currently mechanized infantry units, but we are going to start researching. I do want to get tank destroyers done because that is the main threat to us right now, is tanks. We can control the air easily because we will have a lot of fighters off these aircraft carriers. We will be able to bombard things with the battleships, and we have a large navy here that we can use to kind of defeat any naval threats. We have a sizable stack here of mechanized infantry, but as you might have noticed, we don't have much anti-tank. So that is the main threat to us right now. I do want to get a couple of carriers loaded with strategic bombers so that we can bomb infrastructure, because if we can get close enough here, and like if we can take these islands over here on the southeast, and we can get some airfields up near Taipei, we can then begin using this channel here to strategically bomb a lot of the infrastructure, because these are generally where the capital production areas are for these countries, right? This is Korea proper. We have Japan proper here, China here. They've taken all this land over here, but that usually is going to mean that their infrastructure is not set up yet. So if we can take a couple of these key islands here and use them as a staging ground for our strategic bombers, we should be able to heavily impact the industry and the production of these countries. So that's the game plan now. Of course, we also have to worry about New Zealand, who has joined this Asian pact. So we are essentially the thin line between these huge Asian powers and America. So pretty interesting here. We'll see how it goes. We need to keep pumping out ships, and we will continue to. I'm really glad that we focused on the Navy, because this is going to end up, like, the Pacific is going to end up being quite a battleground once things kick off. So I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks so much, and yeah, see you in the next update. All right, hello ladies and gentlemen. It is quite a while into the game now. I think we're almost at a month, honestly. We're at 24 days into the campaign. So let's do a quick recap. South America, pretty much under our control. As you can see, Texas and a whole bunch of other North American allies have taken ground here. The only two countries down here that have survived are South Argentina and South Brazil. We've decided to end it with some peace. We've even taken some land down here on the south border of South America. But Sweden, Diplex Heated, is completely knocked out at this point in time. Well, not completely. He does have some territory left here. But Saudi Arabia, British Columbia, Korea, they've all just completely annihilated this area. We're currently retaking London, as you can see, in the UK. That is currently being under our control. We've got some subs in the channel here to prevent any counterattack, but man, Jackie is just taking over the world. As you can see, Korea's all the way over here in Europe. They're pushing down. They're trying to make some kind of naval assault into Africa. Africa has messaged us asking for help, and we're preparing to assault via the Pacific. As you can see, we have some troops and troop convoys moving down here to New Zealand. This is pretty much going to be where we're going first. New Zealand owns Australia and a lot of these islands down here. We're going to be taking our large naval fleets. We've got some pretty big battleship flotillas now, as well as carrier groups and some naval bombers, as well as interceptors. So we're just gearing up for war here now, getting all these ships ready to go. And it's going to be pretty exciting. We've also got some land units ready to make an assault when we decide to breach a certain area. But yeah, it's going to be pretty gnarly, I think, over the next little while here. We're prepping pretty much for World War III. World War II is between Asia and Europe. World War III is going to be between Jackie's people as well as the North Americans, and then maybe Africa will swing one way or the other. We'll try to find out. But yeah, Jackie is just they've taken up so much land. So hopefully the tactical plan is to take some of these islands over here near Japan, set up some air bases, and then start flooding the area with strategic bombers to just bomb all the infrastructure on these areas. But that's going to be after we get a foothold over here in the south, maybe draw some attention down here, and then go for a big push for these atolls. But God, it's going to be close, because it's essentially the entire world versus Jackie and his group. He's just been demolishing with Asia. So hopefully Africa can help us swing the tide. I know the Middle East, actually, Iraq and Saudi Arabia are actually pretty large as well. So we'll see where they lie. It does look like they're mixed in here pretty good with Asia. So I don't know where their loyalties lie, but it's going to be a pretty big war this entire time. I know America has pretty much just been dealing with South America, and we've been just gearing up and focusing on industry. But our Navy's rather large. I would like to say we have the largest Navy in the game, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out soon. But yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying the series, and we'll get to the next episode shortly. Okay guys, update. World War III has just erupted. A lot has happened since the last update, and it happened pretty quick. As you can see, we're at war with a lot of the world right now. So the world has been divided into three major coalitions. You have Asia, you have the Middle East, which has taken over a lot of Africa. Actually, you can see Saudi Arabia all the way down here. Even New Zealand has some territory. Japan is even down here too. So Middle East and Japan and Asia. So those two are kind of together versus the Americas. So we have retaken the UK. We are kind of defending it right now with our subs. As you can see, they're sending in some convoys, but we're intercepting them with our submarines. They've also sent in a couple of submarines to kind of probe this channel here, but we found them, and we're bombarding them with destroyers and our own counter sub operations here. But as you can see, it's gonna get pretty spicy. British Columbia does have some territory up here, like near Sweden, but it's broken down into three major powers: North America, which has taken over South America, and then Africa, which has been taken over by Saudi Arabia, and then all of Asia has been united. Now, a cool, or not cool, but an interesting little twist here is that there are confirmed spies in either nation. So for example, at this point in time, Asia doesn't know it, but New Zealand is one of our allies, and they're feeding us intel and screenshots of where troop positions are. But unfortunately, the same goes for us. Someone in our American coalition has been feeding intel to the opposition. So right now, in addition to prepping to invade Asia, as you can see, the plan right now is to push for Okinawa. We have our carrier groups and our battleship flotillas moving that direction. We also have a couple of North Mexico troops landing here in Japan's territory in New Papua Guinea, or New, what's this called? Papua New Guinea, my bad, lol. We have North Mexico pushing down here to retake some of this ground. But the majority of the naval forces and my forces are going to be focusing on taking Okinawa. And just like real historical World War II, the plan here is to get to Okinawa, secure beachhead on Okinawa, set up airfields, and then start strategic bombing everything in this area. Because this is where their main production and infrastructure is, right? The mainland of Korea, Japan, and mainland China, right? Because that's where they started. That's where they're going to have all their infrastructure, all their production facilities. So that's the plan right now, is to push in here, set up air bases, and then ship our strategic bombers in. So we'll see how that goes. There's subs all up in the Pacific. As you can see, we have our own subline here. North Mexico has their own subline, and there's a ton of battleships and stuff. So it's going to be a lot of cat and mouse trying to get our strat bombers over here. But it's going to be interesting. I think our Navy is stronger than theirs, but their ground forces are much stronger than ours. So it's going to be pretty tricky here. So long as we keep a strong Navy, we can hold defense 100%. For example, like I'll just control the Pacific and Atlantic with our carrier and battleship groups and sublines. But the issue is like getting onto the ground and you know, invading, making, you know, landfall. That's going to be really hard, I think, for us. So we do have a land bridge up here that we're using. So as you can see, we do have, who is this? British Columbia and North USA, I think, is over here. Yeah, they're moving troops over. They're going to come south, while North Mexico and I will be pushing Papua New Guinea as well as Okinawa to try to get those strat bombers set up and set up for the long term. But yeah, hopefully we don't have any issues with the Middle East like coming over here and invading us on a second front. Right now, they're currently occupied with the UK. So hopefully this distracts them and we can keep their attention there for a while. There are some convoys over here now that I notice. Let me make sure I hit this thing. So as you can see, really important that we have these sublines set up, right? So we can catch all these troop movements that are being shipped off of the coast. We could use some more subs here. As you can see, North Mexico is getting another subline set up down here. It's gonna be a journey, guys. It is gonna be a journey for the next little while here. But hopefully we're okay. It's going to be a pretty uphill battle, as you can see, because we're fighting like two huge major powers, and it's just America. And then unfortunately Quebec has gone AFK. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to be interesting. So stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is looking pretty freaking bleak at this point. As you can see, they've declared war on me. This is just Japan and Korea, by the way. This doesn't include Manchukuo or nationalist China. But also Saudi Arabia and Iraq we're at war with. They're starting to take ground over here in Europe. New Zealand did get discovered as our spy, so as you can see, we are now friendly to them. But yeah, we tried to sneak some ships in here. As you can see, our subline has mostly been destroyed. We're duking it out over here on the coast of Japan a little bit, but it's looking pretty bleak here. We did go toe-to-toe with Japan's fleet for quite some time with our battleship fleet, but we're pulling back with all of our flotillas right now to reconsolidate, probably near Hawaii, to try to regroup and kind of organize things again. The Americas are in quite disarray, partly because we have a couple of AFK people. Quebec and Kentucky both went AFK. It's been pretty disorganized. South America is just a resource hub. As you can see, it's all split between the nations. We do have somewhat of an Atlantic kind of subwall-ish, but that's getting a little rough here. As you can see, Iraq and Saudi Arabia are beginning to send things over west. So this is looking like the bleakest days, but we're gonna hold out for as long as we can, and I'll keep you updated as the defense continues. Oh dear lord, ladies and gentlemen, since the last update, the world has gone to shit. It appears British Columbia was the spy all along, and they have now decided to turn against us. So they've been allied with Asia for the entirety of the fight. We thought it was South Mexico, but actually the real spy was British Columbia. New Zealand, as you can see here, fully committed to our cause now. They are now oriented west with their fleet. They are going to try to make a sneak attack on Asia while this last fight breaks out. As you can see, British Columbia is moving south on us. They actually have a couple of Korean units here that must have snuck in just because we thought that BC was our ally. We are dealing with a couple of subs in our ports, but we've rebuilt our navy. We now have a 200 strength navy with battleships, augmenting that now with some destroyers that are coming in from the north as well as the west, and then another battleship here to reinforce it. On the southwest here near Guam, what we're gonna do here is a last-ditch effort. We're gonna use this cruiser flotilla as well as my carrier flotilla and this huge 200 stack to try to invade the mainland of China. It did not go well before, but that main fleet that destroyed our initial fleet was absolutely annihilated by North Mexico's 300 stack. So I'm hoping that the plan now is we can use North Korea's 300 stack to push west and then follow in with our infantry and just kind of starburst out and shred through everything here. New Zealand is also planning on trying to come up from the south here, and actually North Mexico is sending a couple of, you know, behind the line troops here on the west to blitz through Saudi Arabia and try to take some main production areas. I'm not sure how well that'll go, but that's what North Mexico is doing. So I'll let you know how it looks. Saudi Arabia is beginning to land troops on the east here, so we'll see how that goes. We are starting to push them back a little bit, so Texas is mainly holding this eastern front, but things are looking kind of bleak. Looks like they're landing more troops over here in the northeast. We'll see how long we can hold back or if we can change the tide here, but it's going to be rough, guys. Things are looking bleak. We have lost a lot of ground on the northwest here. We have British Columbia starting to move in here. We have a couple planes from Saudi Arabia with air control. We have a whole bunch of subs attacking our battleships. The battleship fleet has been absolutely annihilated. We've strong pointed in Los Angeles, so we'll see how long we're going to be able to hold these last couple of cities. The last ditch effort we have here is we have a special group of infantry units and mechanized units moving with 2 fleets here, trying to punch a hole straight through Japan, through China, to Korea, to see if we can take something here in Korea. North Mexico doing what they can over here in Madagascar, but it's looking like this is gonna be it, boys. So we'll see how much longer we can hold out for. Hopefully we can go a couple more days, but yep, this is gonna be it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe this is going to be the final update for this Call of War episode. It looks like we are going to be losing everything. Our submarine / convoy tactic network, we got intercepted by a ton of Saudi Arabian submarines. So that's gonna be it. That was the last play that we had, and then we're all the way down here to just Los Angeles and San Diego with the red doom, as you can see here, just pressing further south. So I'm about to head off for the night, but it does look that by this time tomorrow we will be completely done here. But it was a good run. Congrats to Jackie Fish for winning. Does look like New Zealand was a spy as well as British Columbia. So just ruined by espionage and clever tactics here. Lulled into a false sense of security and then consumed from within. But it was a good game. We made it pretty far. Landed second. Poor Diplex got knocked out first. Just getting rolled over by the Asian Empire. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, guys. Until next time, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. And as always, guys, a big thank you to Call of War. If you're interested in playing this kind of game over, I don't know, it seemed like a month and a half for us. If you're interested in that long-term RTS, do check out Call of War with the links down below. It's been a ton of fun. But this is going to be the end of the California Nation. I'll see you guys in the next video.